I've said it multiple times already, and I think I'll say it a few more times over the next several months, but Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs are going to lock down the state of Georgia in the 2024 class. I've been covering recruiting since 2014. The state of Georgia, high school football, this is one of the more talented years in the Peach State that I've seen in a long, long time. Multiple 5-stars, lots of game-changing type of receivers, running backs, a lot of quarterbacks that I really like. This is a loaded group, and I think the Georgia Bulldogs are going to get their guys in the 2024 class. They only signed a handful in the 2023 cycle. I think it's going to be a lot different in 2024. Some of the top prospects in the country, again, multiple 5-stars, are playing in the state of Georgia this year in the 2024 class. I have updated my personal top 10 best players in Georgia for 2024. You can find that list over on DAWGS. And I think Georgia sits in an excellent position for a lot of these guys. So that's basically what this video is about. I'm going to be breaking down the top 10 players in my opinion and where Georgia sits with those guys. I think, of course, you have to start off with KJ Bolden, 6'1", 185 pounds, dual threat. I guess you could call him a dual threat, wide receiver, defensive back, wherever you want to play him. This guy has track star speed, incredible ball skills, burst, explosion. When he has the ball, he is a threat to score anytime. I would personally give him a shot to play wide receiver first, but I think most people think his best football is ahead of him in the secondary at safety. I think he's one of the number 1 or 2 ranked athletes overall in the country, top 5 prospect in the country, depending on the outlet you look at. I think he's number 1 in the state of Georgia. His numbers on Max Preps were not updated, so I don't know exactly what type of numbers he put up last year, but when he has the ball, he can score anywhere on the field. Impressive route runner. He's got great hands, but he's a long athletic safety. He closes well. He tackles. He knows how to hit. And when the ball's in the air, he can turn into a receiver and make a play on the ball. He's got offers from everywhere. I think Georgia is a team sitting in a really, really good spot for him right now. Could be a Georgia-Alabama battle when it's all said and done, but Georgia hasn't had the best of luck at Buford over the last few years, but I think they are going to load up with a lot of guys currently on Buford's roster, and I think KJ Bolden, easy 5-star. I think Georgia is probably the team to beat for him behind the scenes. We'll see where he goes in March. I think he's going to take a few visits this spring, officials in the summer, and then probably make a decision before his senior season, so he's definitely one to keep an eye on. I like where Georgia sits with him. And Mike Matthews out of Parkview. Dual sports star, has offers to play, obviously, football, one of the best prospects in the country, but he's got some D1 offers to play basketball too. That's how athletic he is. Kid can bounce, he can move, again, tremendous ball skills. I like him at receiver, so does Brian McClendon at Georgia. Got 48 passes, 1,030 yards, 9 touchdowns. He averaged over 20 yards per catch. He is a big play weapon, can create separation on his own, quick feet, can get in and out of his breaks, can get wide open, in one-on-one coverage, can make big plays down the field, can contort his body and make an acrobatic catch. But he's also a standout defender. He's another guy who could play in the secondary or receiver at the next level. Just a tremendous athlete and, a game changer when he's on the field on both sides of the ball. Excellent prospect. Again, top 10 player in the country consensus. Some people think he's number 1 in the state. I think this could be a Georgia-Tennessee battle when it's all said and done, but he's an easy 5-star, number 2 prospect for me. And Georgia, again, I think sits in a really nice spot. Sammy Brown, number 3 in the state, in my opinion, 6'2", 225, a monster in the weight room, all muscle, another tremendous athlete, the most productive 2-way player in the state. Rushed for just under 1,500 yards last year, 21 touches on defense. A linebacker, made 113 tackles. When he's on the field, he's the best player on the field. And I know Georgia took 3 of the best inside linebackers in last year's class, so I think Clemson probably has the edge over Georgia right now. Nearby Jefferson, where Malachi Starks played. So he knows all about Athens. Kirby Smart, Glenn Schumann, he knows the staff, and easy 5-star. I spoke to coaches who played against him, and they all tell me this, we heard the hype about Sammy Brown. He looks the part, and he plays the part too. Physical, tough, will run you over at running back, but I think his position at the next level is at linebacker. Really good instincts, can still make a play on the ball, and he's got a big-time muscular, physical frame and knows how to hit. So it's hard to miss. It's hard to exactly find a weakness with Sammy Brown. Just a tremendous athlete. Number 3 in the state, in my opinion. I think it's down to Georgia and Clemson in the long run. Watch out for Tennessee. They might be able to get in there late. I think he's got some family that were up in Tennessee, grew up Tennessee fans, but I think Georgia and Clemson are the two teams out in front right now. Daniel Calhoun, big-time offensive center out of Centennial. Have seen him play for a while. I think he's a dog post guy. I know him pretty well at this point. 6'5", 330, moves really, really well, plays basketball, has quick feet, plays with balance, just will put you on your behind. He will bury guys. Now, it didn't play for a great program at Centennial, but if you just watched him every play, he's dominating. And he's big, he's physical, he's nimble. Matt Luke was the guy who offered him when he was the offensive line coach at Georgia, loved him. Stacey Searles is going to continue that. But he's another possible 5-star in the country, in my opinion. I like him, I think, more than my competitors do, other outlets. I don't think anyone else has him in the top 4 in the state. I do love everything about Daniel Calhoun, and I think Georgia's, still in the mix there. He's taking a lot of visits. Alabama, Auburn's coming at him. A lot of schools want this young man, and it's easy to see why. Georgia's right in the thick of it. We'll see if they can, get him on board later this summer. Edric Houston, another Buford Wolves, 6'3", 255. Saw him play against Thompson when Buford hosted them at Milton High School at the season opener last year, and dude was living in the backfield, all over them. They could not block this guy. He's got some length to his frame as well, quick off the ball, but it has a natural feel for the game, great motor, attacks the quarterback, can run down the ball carrier, moves really well at 255, just really productive. Again, looks the part. He's been a big-time prospect for a while now. I think Georgia is towards the top of his list. Real quiet about his recruitment, but he was in Athens in mid-January for the national championship celebration. They know all about him. He knows all about Georgia. A 5-star prospect on multiple other outlets. I think he's the number 5 player in the state. And again, Georgia sits in a great spot for him. Zion Ragins, Jones County. That's where Todd Hartley went to school. One of Georgia's best recruiters, one of the best recruiters in college football. He's not a tight end, but he is one of the fastest players in the country. Ran a 10.3 in the 100-meter this time last year. Claims a 4.23 in the 40. Not very big. You definitely, he doesn't pass the eyeball test coming off the bus. I sent Ryan out to watch him play earlier in the last season, and he texted me, he's the small guy, right? I said, yes, he's the small guy, but he is electric. He is incredibly fast, plays in fast forward, just leaves guys in the dust. If you give him the ball in the open space, he's going to take off for a big game, and there are not a lot of guys who are going to track this dude down. So speed kills. He's got plenty of it, and that's why he is the number 6 player in the state, in my opinion. Has a Georgia offer. I think we'll get back to visit Georgia in March. If they push for him and want him in this class, they're looking for speed, and they could absolutely get it. With Zion Ragins. His numbers were not updated on Max Preps, but go watch the film. Dude's electric. Elite speed, one of the fastest players in the country, and that's why I have him ranked so high. Cam Davis comes in at number 7 for me, 5'10", 200 pounds, Doherty High School in Albany, currently committed to Florida State. Tremendous baseball player, just a fantastic athlete, all muscle. Rushed for 1,115 yards last year, played quarterback too, threw for over, I think, 2,200 yards, rushed for over 1,100 yards. Incredible lower body strength. Dude will just break tackles with his thighs. Just so tough to bring down by just one defender. If Georgia pushes for him, they have 2 running backs on board already, but if they push for Cam Davis, South Georgia guy, I think they, could try to pull the flip. I think they would love to flip him. I think he's solidly committed to Florida State right now, but he's definitely a running back in the state to know. I love everything about his game, and that's why he's a top 10 player in the state for me. Number 8, Landon Thomas, committed to Georgia already out of Colquitt County, caught 44 passes, 753 yards, 8 touchdowns, plenty of size, around 6'3". Don't think he's 6'4". I think he's a solid 6'3", around 230, 240. So he's got some muscle, got some mass, but he's a big weapon in the passing game, middle of the field, can get yards after the catch. Another guy who's tough to bring down, big time blocker on the edge. He can really push guys, move them out of the play. Led Colquitt County to a massive season last year. And I think they're going to be very good again. They're one to watch in 7A for state championship. That was Todd Hartley's guy. He went, got him on the board early. A lot of people think he's a 5-star, and he might end up as a 5-star. I think he's the number 8 player in the state of Georgia. That's how loaded and talented the class is. Number 9, Prentice Nolan, quarterback at Langston Hughes. Best team in the state last year, and they were in 6A. Just led an offense that was just lighting up the scoreboard week after week. Threw for over 4,000 yards, just under 4,100 yards. But this is why he's in my top 10. 55 touchdown passes, just 4 interceptions. Big left-handed quarterback, 6'4", 190. Does not have a Georgia offer, but I think he is the best quarterback in the state of Georgia for the 2024 class. Georgia doesn't think so. They've offered Jake Merklinger out of Savannah. He's right outside of the top 10 for me, but 55 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Big-time arm, can push the ball down the field. I think he deserves to be number 1 in my personal rankings and a top 10 player. He's got offers from Alabama, Texas A&M, a bunch of other SEC schools. I know Auburn liked him at one point. They now have their quarterback, Walker White, on board. So he's going to be an SEC guy, in my opinion, if not, another big-time Power 5 program. But he's number 1 at quarterback, number 9 player in the state for me. Not going to Georgia, though. Then you have Dwight Phillips, a running back who is committed to Georgia. Another one of the fastest players in the country. His dad was an All-American Olympian. Even better than an All-American, right? I believe it was in the long jump, but he's got genes, right? He's another track star, was the Georgia 7A 100-meter state championship winner, ran a 10.43, another just electric, elite speedster, along with Zion Ragins, 2 of the fastest players in the country, without a doubt. Dwight Phillips, committed to Georgia at running back, 5'11", 170, can leave guys in the dust. If he's running behind an excellent offensive line and you give him any sliver to run, he's going to take it the distance. He's a guy who can score from anywhere on the field, and that's why he's a top 10 player in the state, in my opinion. They've got Sokovie White, wide receiver, on board. He's not in my top 10, but big-time wide receiver. They are trending in the right direction for a lot of these big-time in-state players. I think they're going to have they could load up and lock down the state if they want to. And I think they're going to have the number 1 class in the country in 2024. I've said that, multiple times. Could push for one of the best classes ever in the .com era. We'll see how it goes. But Georgia could lock up the state if they push for all of these guys, because they're sitting in a great spot for a lot of them. Y'all, thanks for watching these videos. Love it. Love covering recruiting. This is my time of the year. A lot of stuff coming up later this month. We have the Under Armour All-American Camp in Georgia. Hope to get plenty of pictures of these guys and more updates to come. So thanks for watching this video. I'll see y'all over on Dog Post.